This was 1973. I'm doing all nights in San Bernardino. And remember the draft lottery from the late 60s? Okay, my draft number was 4. So I quickly got into the reserves. Managed to get into an Armed Forces Radio Reserve unit. Had to go through basic training and everything else, but it's now 1973, and we had to go away for our 2-week summer camp. And I'm in the summer camp and at Fort Carson, Colorado, and I meet another guy in my unit who had just transferred in, and he was reading the biography of George S. Kaufman. And Kaufman and Hart were like idols of mine. Again, when I was a kid, I read Act 1 by Moss Hart, and that just seemed so romantic, writing plays and saving them in New Haven, and then they become big hits on Broadway. So we started talking, and he was working, this is David Isaacs, he was working at ABC schlepping film cans, and he too kind of had a desire to be a writer. So I thought, well, maybe we should team up and try something. The only problem is neither of us had written anything. Summer camp is over. I go back to San Bernardino and quickly get fired. And I come back to Los Angeles to live with my parents, to send out tapes and try to get another job. And I called David and said, hey, you want to talk about maybe writing something together? And we met at the Hamburger Hamlet at Doheny and Sunset, which was there up until about a year ago, and decided to try writing together. I had to go to Collector's Bookstore in Hollywood and buy an Odd Couple TV script. I had no idea what a TV script even looked like, and none of us knew the first thing about outlining or anything. We wrote a pilot about 2 guys who lived in a dorm, because that was our only life experience. And the script was terrible, but we had a good time writing it. And so we decided to really be serious about this and take like a few years and just write spec scripts at night and figure that somebody somewhere will appreciate our work and give us a shot.
Well, my version is, I'm sure, probably more or less the same. We met in Fort Carson, Colorado in, I think, the summer of 1973. And we met over a book that I was reading, a biography of George S. Kaufman. And, you know, not too many guys in an army barracks are reading books about playwrights. So I think that attracted Ken's attention, and we sort of started hitting off a friendship, talking about movies we liked. Both were big fans of Kaufman. That got us sort of become friendly, and Ken at the time was living in San Bernardino. I was in LA, I had a job there, and he had a radio job in San Bernardino, and he was fired, I think, from your job, if I'm not mistaken.
This is the first I'm hearing of any of this. So.
As you were so many times. Mm-hmm. Ken called me and said, I'm in town, I'm back in town, would you want to get some dinner? And we sat down, we had some dinner, and we started talking about writing together, and it seemed like a great idea from both sides, I think. And I had always thought about doing more of it, but I guess I was a little bit insecure about my own talent, and just having somebody else who was very funny, who I really enjoyed being with, seemed like a great idea to team up. So we did, and started trying to write a pilot, a TV pilot. We finished that. It would have, in today's dollars, it would have cost about $8-9 million.
I said 200 million.
200.
But yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
But it was our first chance to sit down, and we had a good time. We had a lot of fun. And then someone told us, well, you should do more existing shows, do specs. So because we basically, neither one of us had much money or a lot of time on our hands, we would watch the Saturday night lineup on CBS, which was All in the Family, MASH, Mary Tyler Moore, and Newhart, Carol Burnett. And we were both gigantic fans of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and we decided that was the best one for us to start with. And I remember we taped, but this was before videotape, we audio taped the show, and we would listen back and try to sort of see how we could mimic the patterns. And then we just kind of went from there. It took about 2 years, 3 years until we got our first regular paying gig. But we were very disciplined about it. Wrote on the weekends. We worked both, had day jobs during the week, but we would find at least 2 or 3 nights a week to work together. So we were consistent. We kept going, and we did all the things you due diligence, I suppose, to put yourself in the position to get that first break.
If we had girlfriends, neither of us would have had a career.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I would have dropped you like a bad habit if I had any chance of
Exactly.
spending Saturday night doing something other than
Something else.
watching TV. Yeah.